So, it's okay, it's okay. It's alright, it's alright. So, hello everybody, I'm Richard Gong of Work to Live podcast version. This time, I'm thinking of creating a brief episode, which means, so I'm thinking of trying to speak out fastly. So this time, what I'd like to talk about is the difference or dis, gender discrimination or gender segregation or that type of segregation related to the gender difference this time particularly in workplace. So if you see or if you have read the title, so maybe you have already understood what I'm going to talk about. So this time the title is appointing women executives of huge companies is a harassment, isn't it? And the conclusion is, if you please take a look at the description column of this episode to see the conclusion of this episode. The conclusion is gender equality should be accomplished contingent on individual case, and assigning excellent women to managers and executives. This is fine, and assigning ordinary women or foolish women to managers and executives. This is an apocalypse. So what I'd like you to understand, or what I'd like to tell you with this composition or with this conclusion is that, so thinking about motives or motivations of workers, or so which means, so please imagine motives or motivations or the performances of workers or your colleagues in your workplace. So which is what I'd like you to imagine. So motives and motivations of workers are widely varied or extremely diverse, which is what I'm saying with this composition. So for example, so you know, so if it, so that gender dis, discri, gender discrimination or gender segregation is a problem if you know if there is a prejudice or bias in the choice of so for example managers or executives of huge companies, for example, in such situations, if there is a gender discrimination or gender segregation or those things related to gender differences, that is going to be really a huge problem. But actually, so please imagine that for example, some workers are vigorous and are excellent, and they so such types of people want to work hard for their workplaces or for their companies or for the companies they belong to and work for. And but actually there are still other types of workers, and some workers work in a moderation, not moderation, moderate degree, or some workers may be excellent, but actually, so those workers do not work hard, and they work, how should I say, so for standard amount of time or ordinary amount of times. So which means, so if a work lasts for 8 hours, for example, they work, such moderate workers work for that duration of eight hours, and after finishing their works, they go home. But actually, excellent workers work after the regular working range, or regular working period or duration, and after ending that regular working hours, they work overtime. But there are such types of workers, and there are such types of excellent workers, and there are other types of moderate or ordinary workers, and still others are lazy workers. I'm sorry for calling them in such a manner, but actually, so there are some people who do not want to work so hard, and such workers, also such workers stay in their own workplaces for example, for 8 hours, or for decided or regular working hours. But actually, so they do not want to take their own works, and they are those. I'm sorry for calling them in this manner. But actually, such lazy workers, or such, such, so submissive workers do not want to take a lot of taxes or not tasks. Such workers do not want to take tasks or works because they want to avoid responsibilities. And there are such types of workers who are strenuous, who are likely or strenuously trying to avoid the responsibilities of works. And so I'm not saying when all the women are lazy or most of the women are lazy. I'm not saying such a thing. So that is not to say that so men are more excellent than women, and which is not so I'm not saying such a thing, but actually so thinking about the motives or motivations of the workers between men and women. So the population of men it's like the population of men is likely to have more motivated or more excellent workers as workers or as managers or as executives. And while there is a of course, there are many excellent women as workers and managers and executives. There are many excellent and intelligent women all over the world. But actually, thinking about the entire population of the working women, so the number of the excellent women it's not so as large as that of men, which is what I'm saying. Or which is what I'd like you to think about. So in this time or in this present time, so I'm creating this recording on August in 2022. So recent or the end of August, and thinking about the recent trend of choosing men and women or appointing men and women for example, executives or managerial positions equally or in equal numbers. So I think this is dangerous. Or I think this is a kind of lethal to the happinesses of women and men. So that is because some women who are not excellent might maybe chosen or maybe appointed as, for example, managers or executives. So thinking about such a danger. So which means what I'm more worried about is that those women do not want to work so hard. But actually, so if they are chosen or if they have to or if they come to become, for example, managers and executives, they have to work hard, which I think is quite dangerous. So which is what I'd like you to think about. So this time, so wait a moment please. I'm going to tell you again the title and the conclusion. And the title is Appointing Women Executives of Huge Companies is a harassment, isn't it? And the conclusion is gender equality should be accomplished contingent on individual case. Assigning excellent women to managers and executives, this is fine. Assigning ordinary women or foolish women to managers and executives, this is an apocalypse. So we should gender equality is important. Gender equality should be accomplished. But actually, people should think about appointing men and women higher positions equally is really fortunate, or is really is really in favor of those people or not, which is what I'd like you to think about. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you. So by the way, I think so the number or the population of motivated people may vary depending on ethnic groups. For example, this is my fabrication or hallucination, but actually, so in the case of or in the situations of Germanic peoples like English people and German people, so the population or the ratios of motivated or excellent people between between men and women, maybe equal or maybe almost the same. So which is of course my fabrication or imagination. But actually, so when it comes to my country, for example, so that comparing the the populations or the number or the size of populations or the ratios of people of motive to workers or motivated workers or excellent workers between men and women. So the population of motive to or motivated people in the group of women in my country maybe smaller than that of men in my country. So which is of course this is my fabrication or imagination. And so there's so this needs a kind of scientific scientific investigation, but actually, or statistical investigation, but actually, so which is such comparison is what I'm talking about, which is why I created this extra part of episode of podcast.